So here's what I think. Cardano, Chainlink, some assets that have run and made this impulse to the upside, they're going to come down a little more than other altcoins, and they're going to be consolidating in accumulation at the base longer than other altcoins. Meanwhile, other altcoins that have yet to run and put this impulsive move to the upside in are going to start moving. Everything gets its run, but at different times. It's I think it's a common misbelief in crypto and in a lot of markets that certain things just don't run, and you just have to figure out what runs. It's all timing. Unless the project runs, unless there's some fundamental issue with the project, with the asset, where it no longer trades, it's no longer solvent, it's going to run. It's a question of when. So if your assets have yet to run, that just means in the time Cardano, in the time Chainlink takes to come back down to the golden pocket and reaccumulate, your asset is going to run. Let's look at Chainlink. Hello everyone, my name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is December 31st, 2023, the last day of 2023. Happy New Year to one and all. Let's talk about something very important, okay? And we've been talking about this on the channel. We've been referencing it. We've been alluding to it, discussing the potentiality of this move, but I think it's finally here. And this is a big drop to the downside for Bitcoin and the rest of the cryptocurrency market. Guys, if that sounds interesting to you, then watch until the very end. Hope everyone's doing well. Okay, first things first. I understand that most people who hold spot positions cannot benefit from a move down. But for my friends that are trading futures contracts, obviously you can make money both ways. The best ways to make money in this market are trading impulses, not the side-to-side stuff, but when the market's either going up clearly, distinctively, impulsively, or down impulsively, okay? It is very likely, with a high degree of probability, that we are going to initiate a move down impulsively to this main support level for Bitcoin, okay? The $31,000, $32,000 level, $30,000 to $32,000 level, right? Something like that. Okay. Highly likely that most altcoins are going to do the same, albeit not as, most altcoins are not going to be as acute in their declension. They're not going to drop as much, and I'm going to show you why that is. Okay, so the idea is simple, and it's basically what we've been saying on the channel. If you look at all of this, this is an impulse, very likely an impulse. This is very likely a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, you know, a rising, sort of a slanted up and to the right, what do you call it, a complex flat correction, wave 4, and then a final wave 5. And then what we've been in for the past, let's measure it really quickly. Guys, if you're getting value, please like, share, and subscribe. Ever since December 5th, when we reached a high, we've been in this holding pattern, okay? And what we've been calling it on the channel is a distribution level, a distribution range, okay? And that's Wyckoff speak for preparation for a move down, okay? A distribution range is a range in which the asset basically consolidates and prepares to break to the downside, okay? And so that's been 30 days. The past 30 days, we've been up and down and up and down and up and down. Some people think that this is a reaccumulation or basically a precursor to a big move up. And I've been saying it's very likely, with a high degree of probability, that we're going to go down. All right. Why am I saying now in this video that it's likely that we're going to go down and not up. Few reasons, okay? Stay with me, okay? On the high time frame, it's likely we're going to go down from here. But why am I saying now that likely the move is going to start? It's because if we zoom in, and now let's zoom into the 4-hourly time frame, we can see that we've been, if you zoom in, we can see that we've been putting in a few tests to the top, okay? Obviously, we start at the top, put in an initial break of structure, that's your A wave. You put in a move to the upside, that's a B wave, all right? That's your first pair of AB basing, okay? Another move to the bottom, testing the bottom of the range. Another move to the top, testing the top of the range. That's your second pair of flat correction AB basing, okay? You essentially just need one more, okay? And I'm seeing this as your last test right here, right? I'm seeing this as your last test. And I don't believe, given the price action, given what my momentum indicator is saying, right? Because this is corrective price action. I know I said in previous videos that it was likely we're targeting 45K or the top of the range before a move down. That's still possible. But based off of what I've been seeing in the charts, based off of the price action, it's more likely than not that we've exhausted the consolidations in this range, and that what we saw here was the last test of the top, okay? That's your three pairs of sort of flat correction, 2 degrees of AB basing and a pivot. And what you see here is basically a preparation where, remember, 3 aspects of a range that are important. The top, which is resistance, the bottom, which is support, the midline, which is resistance when you're below it, support when you're above it, okay? And what I'm seeing here is you lost the midline. Now you're retesting that midline as resistance. You get rejected from that ever so important midline. Remember, you can't leave a range without testing the midline one last time. And I believe that that is going to take you down. The first target to the downside, let's go back on the daily time frame, okay? So the first target out of this is very likely the 38K level, because that created a strong resistance level on the way up. So it's going to be relatively significant support on the way down. Also, if you just look at this as an M top, the target of which is the height of this M pattern superimposed from the side of breakout, you get about this right here, okay? So I think that if you're going to trade this, your first target is going to be on this support level right here, okay? But that's not it. That's not the end of the move. It doesn't mean that we go here and then we just pop back up. I don't believe so. Possible. It's possible that this may be, all of this is one big A wave, and then we get one big B wave, and then another C wave. That's on the table. And I actually did mock that out. So let's keep that on the table. Let's say that that's a possibility. Okay, how long do we likely, probabilistically have left in the larger correction? Okay, and let's zoom out so you can understand what I mean by the larger correction. Okay, if this is true, that this is an impulse to the upside, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, and I've already talked about the measurements of this purported Elliott wave sequence. Wave 1 and wave 2, they fit the bill. Wave 3 fits the bill. Wave 4 fits the bill. All that stuff, all the measurements, the mathematical measurements using Fibonacci fit the bill. And it took 51 days to go up. Then it should take 51 days or so to correct all the way back down to the next significant support level, right? Previous resistance as new support. Thus far, we've been in consolidation, right? In what we believe to be this distributive range for 30 days, right? It was 30 days. Let's see. Yeah, so 27 days, 27 days. Okay, about 25 days. Should we immediately go all the way down and then take, I don't know how long it takes to go down. I don't know if it happens in one fell swoop in a day or 2 days, but does it take another 20 days to consolidate at the bottom here before going up? That's a possibility. We've seen that. Or do we go ahead and do something like this? I think that's less likely, because typically after a big move down, it takes a decent amount of time to reaccumulate. You have to then put down another consolidation right here, because buyers need to step back in, because sellers took over in the big drop. Buyers need time to reaccumulate positions before marking up again. That takes time. And historically, just looking at Bitcoin's price action, I would not be surprised if we took the remaining, 20 days? Let's see. Yeah, about 20 some odd days to draw down, reaccumulate. So that's why I'm seeing what I'm seeing on the charts as this being our A wave, B wave, and now our drop. And then once we get back to the target, what we're going to see is in the 20 days, 15 days, 2 weeks, whatever it takes for Bitcoin to reaccumulate before marking back up, altcoins are going to start, what's the word I'm looking for? Front running the move up. Because I'll show you in a second why some altcoins don't have as far down to go. Okay, so that's the first thing. That's what I see with Bitcoin. This is why I see it. Okay, but again, it's going to look something like this. That 38K level is a thing, but that's just likely to be our wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, something like this, wave 4, wave 5, something like that. Okay, that's what I'm seeing as a progression to the downside. Okay, so back to what I said in the beginning of the video. This is a relatively big move, okay? When you're looking to make money, you want to make money on these impulses to the upside or the downside. You can take advantage of both. That's where you make money. This is where you lose money or don't make much money, where you're going side to side to side to side. This is an opportunity. If you know how to take advantage of it, right, then, go ahead. That's what I'm seeing on the charts. Okay, now let's go in and look at some indicators to see, how viable this trading thesis is. Okay, let's look at the US dollar currency index. If you understand how this works, right, what the US dollar currency index is, it's basically inversely correlated with Bitcoin and crypto in general. So when the US dollar is going down, Bitcoin, crypto's going up, and vice versa. Okay, so basically what we've had since early October is the US dollar currency index coming down. It hasn't resulted in a massive move up in crypto, but Bitcoin has enjoyed most of the positive price action, and some distinct altcoins have as well. Okay, but the crypto market hasn't gone crazy over this. But what I'm seeing here, and I've said this before, is we have a perfect zigzag, an ABC zigzag, okay, where you have 5 waves here, 3 waves in the middle, and then 5 waves down. And what I'm seeing in this is you're finished with these 3 waves, A, B, C. And so this is the beginning of our impulse to the downside, okay? And now you've reached a level of support, very clear support on the chart of the US dollar currency index, right? This has been support for quite some time, ever since February of 2023, right? So basically 10 months, 10-month level support. You just hit this. You're likely to find some sort of consolidation to the upside. Are you going to rocket all the way up? I don't think so. What is likely happening here is a small intra-wave correction, just like you got here, Let's zoom in. No reason for this to be this small. Guys, if you're getting value, please like, share, and subscribe. So I think you're getting one of those intra-wave corrections, and actually the real party starts once you break this important level of support, right? Because you're essentially creating a massive bearish reversal pattern that you break support of, right? And eventually just now go impulsively, strongly to the downside, hitting the target, which is the bottom of this 10-year channel, okay, for the US dollar currency index. So I do see the US dollar currency index continuing to go down, okay? I see it going down much more impulsively, much more quickly, much more clearly in the immediate, in the near term, in the medium short term, right? But at this, in the immediate short term, I see the US dollar currency index performing an intra-wave correction right here, okay? And that, once that's finished, a loss of this 10-month support level, a retest of the 10-month support level, and then finally a massive declension from that that important support level. And this is really where we see some clear, unimpeachable, impulsive price action to the upside in crypto. So that I see early 2024, and that's coincident with what we're seeing in our Elliott wave, with Bitcoin retracing 51 more days, giving us until the end of January for that massive move to the upside. Okay, so that's my DXY sort of analysis, and that does corroborate our read in Bitcoin. So this is confluent with our trading thesis. Bitcoin dominance now. Bitcoin dominance is another really important indicator, okay? And Bitcoin dominance is basically also telling us that we are going to likely experience some sort of intra-wave correction, right? You had an intra-wave correction here, right? This is your first intra-wave correction. I imagine you're going to get another one here at a support level. It's not the strongest support level, but it's a support level. So Bitcoin dominance going up, remember, means that Bitcoin's gaining against altcoins in market cap. But again, I don't see Bitcoin dominance flying up here. I see Bitcoin dominance going up ever so slightly, okay? And that translates to a small correction, relatively small correction in altcoins, but a precedent for a large altcoin move against Bitcoin. Do you see what I mean? So that's my Bitcoin dominance read, and again, that is also confluent with our larger trading thesis as to what Bitcoin's likely to do, as to what altcoins are likely to do. Last but not least, looking at the total two, all altcoins take away Bitcoin. So we're going to do this. I'm going to look at the total two, and I'm going to show you some individual altcoins, because I think the total two is, I mean, it's not as clear as some of the individual altcoins to show what's likely happening. Okay, so the total two I've had for months in this type of read, where you had this sort of channel for 525 days and you broke out of it. Okay, I believe that this has run its course. I initially thought, and I've been saying, that $1 trillion was the target, okay? $1 trillion is the target of this move, but it seems as if it's not, because it looks exhausted. This looks exhausted. It feels exhausted. If you've been in altcoins, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We should have hit this target by now, right? If this was an actual impulsive move, there's no way it's taking this amount of time. Obviously, there's such a thing as an intra-wave correction, but you know, you only have your wave 2, your wave 4, waves 1, 3, and 5 are relatively quick. You're not seeing that here. And that tells me that this is likely it. And this makes sense if you look at it in this way, the way I just drew it. Okay, so the way I just drew it, you have this 525-day channel, right? The height of which is pretty much the target of the breakout, which has been reached. Do you see what I mean? So if you look at it from that perspective, if you draw your channel from this perspective and the breakout as being around here, superimposed from the side of breakout, the target is the height of the channel, which is pretty much where we're at. So what we could expect is some sort of distribution and retracement of this move up, down. Okay, so let's zoom in and see what that looks like. I still think $1 trillion is a target, a next target, or an upcoming target, but only after a retracement. Okay, so altcoins will also retrace. So I don't think that this, so two things. I don't think that this is pure impulse. What does that mean? That means there doesn't have to be a direct time relationship or correspondence between the time up and the time down. Meaning, we can come down in one day, even though it took us, however long, 50 some odd days to go up. It doesn't matter how long it takes us to distribute and to come down. So that's one. Second thing is, I do think, just like, any old or any high time frame resistance level, you have to retrace and turn it into support. Old resistance, okay, this 525-day resistance needs to be retested as support before the real action happens, okay? So that's what I'm looking at for altcoins. I'm looking for altcoins to do this, to return to this level of support. And at that point, the party starts. At that point, we get real, true-to-life, impulsive price action to the upside for altcoins, but not before that. Again, there exists an opportunity to short altcoins back down to support, but again, this is not going to be as simple as Bitcoin because you're dealing with an amalgam of assets, each on their own, each, going by the beat of their own drum. And so now let's look at some examples. I'm going to show you two really clear examples of distribution, almost unimpeachably clear levels of distribution or examples of distribution. The first, Cardano. Okay, Cardano, I believe, is in a pure impulse, meaning everything we've experienced from about mid-October has given us that move from 23 cents all the way to 60 cents. I think that's pure impulse. And I also think that what you're seeing here is the quintessential, textbook distributive range, where you have, once again, if you zoom down on your 4-hourly time frame, your 2 degrees of AB basing and a pivot, or your 3 pairs of flat corrections, okay? You have one pair, 2 pair, 3 pair. This is your impulse. This is more likely than not a wave 4 complex correction, and you're probably going to put in your wave 5 here. You're going to probably retest the midline right here with your wave 2, wave 1, wave 2, right? And then you're going to go down and continue to go down. And on the higher time frame, your larger target is between the 0.5 and the 618, the golden pocket of this Fibonacci retracement level, okay? So basically, I'm looking at Cardano retracing between 35 and 39 cents, okay, when it's all said and done. Again, chronologically, you do have a relationship of going up, taking 51 days, exactly, okay, just like Bitcoin, and coming down thus far, it's taken 22 days. So again, about 29 days left. I still am in. So here's what I think: Cardano, Chainlink, some assets that have run and made this impulse to the upside, they're going to come down a little more than other altcoins, and they're going to be consolidating in accumulation at the base longer than other altcoins. Meanwhile, other altcoins that have yet to run and put this impulsive move to the upside in are going to start moving. Everything gets its run, but at different times. It's I think it's a common misbelief in crypto and in a lot of markets that certain things just don't run, and you just have to figure out what runs. It's all timing. Unless the project rugs, unless there's some fundamental issue with the project, with the asset, where it no longer trades, it's no longer solvent, it's going to run. It's a question of when. So if your assets have yet to run, that just means in the time Cardano, in the time Chainlink takes to come back down to the golden pocket and reaccumulate, your asset is going to run. Let's look at Chainlink. Guys, I hope you're getting value from this. Please like, share, and subscribe if you are. This is a little longer, but I think this is very important. So let's look at Chainlink as promised. And I've cited Chainlink as a clear example. Very clear. I mean, this is textbook of something that needed to retrace. There is no way you are in such a clean looking, look at this clean consolidative channel for all that time, you break out of it and you don't retest it as support. I mean, this is the cleanest level. There's no way anybody can think that you're not coming back down here before going back up. There's no way. That's just, trading 101. It's a support or RS flip, changing old resistance to new support. Okay, and it just so happens, and we've looked at this before, so I'm not going to rehash the analysis. This is wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. Just so happens that this move back down is right at the golden pocket. If you take your Fibonacci retracement level, it's in the 0.5618 Fibonacci retracement of this impulse. And just like Cardano, measure it yourselves, this has taken about 50 some odd days to go up. And it's going to likely take 50 some odd days to come down and reaccumulate before breaking back out again. Again, Cardano has already moved. Chainlink has already moved. I think Polkadot is already moved. There are certain assets that have already broken out and already moved. If you're keen on investing in assets that are likely to move sooner than that, look for assets that have yet to move. That simple. Okay, if you're keen on shorting the market, if you like shorting the market, if you're, decent at shorting the market, you put in a short down to these levels. Simple. There's money to be made in these markets when you're reading these patterns. It's a high probability read. Doesn't mean it's going to happen 100%. Nothing's 100% in technical analysis, but with a high degree of probability, we retest previous resistances, new support. So this resistance of 525 days is a very likely, highly probably going to be retested as support. And so getting short in Link, getting short in Cardano, great idea. Meanwhile, and this is the last bit of my analysis for today. Meanwhile, something like, let's see if I can find Litecoin. Litecoin's a great example. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Litecoin, something like Litecoin. Has this run or not? Clearly hasn't. This clearly has yet to run. This is clearly, and you can see I've marked this up because I've obviously considered the move up and what it may look like. But this is something that has clearly yet to run. And if it does encounter some sort of retracement, that retracement is going to be relatively minimal. It's going to be relatively small because it's pretty much already at the base of its move. If you can see, ever since June of 2022, we've been putting in all these retracements. So this is the most extreme case of a retracement for Litecoin down to this level here, which would be this June 22 support level, right? So around $58, and right now we're at $74. So that's extreme level. It may not even get there. Do you see what I mean? So that's what, an 18% declension versus looking at Chainlink, looking at Cardano, something like a 40% drawdown. So you see what I mean? Something like Litecoin, let's say in the big drop, because everything typically drops when Bitcoin drops. Let's say it drops 10, 15%, whatever, 18% at the most. It's not necessarily going to need 22 days, 14 days, whatever, to reaccumulate before starting back up again. If you're keen on going long, keep an eye out for what Litecoin and other assets that have yet to run are doing, but do brace for that move down. I wouldn't go long until Bitcoin starts its move down. So that's basically what I'm seeing in the market, guys. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was useful. Like, share, and subscribe if you got value. And I will see you next year. Take care.